Aaron Rodgers apparently going into the dark later today. He's got 4 days to sit there and think about his future. I cannot imagine. I mean, good Lord. I couldn't even imagine spending 3 hours in that circumstance. But he says he's going to spend 4 days. Green Bay says they'll take him back, obviously. Damian Lillard, after you left, came on the set on game day morning and voiced exactly what all Raider fans have been saying. Let him come now that Derek Carr's gone. And then the Jets hire the offensive coordinator for his last few years in Green Bay prior to last year. And you know the style of offense Nathaniel Hackett can run with Rodgers. Looking at all the rosters and looking at all the circumstances, which one do you think is the best chance for Rodgers to win one more before he does join you in Canton, Kurt?
Green Bay. I think if he wants to play again and the Packers want him back, I think he's back in Green Bay. I think there's lots of different facets to it. But I do think there's something uniquely special about playing the entirety of your career with one organization. And even though it seems like it may have been a little more rocky these last few years, there's something special about that. And then I look at the landscape, and the best opportunities I think out there for him might be the AFC, and knowing the transition that it takes in most situations to turn, go to another organization and turn them around and try to get back to the championship, even though we obviously saw two teams do it recently. There's a lot of challenges in the AFC. There's a lot of good young quarterbacks to go through in the AFC, and so I think the best opportunity still, when I look at the NFC and where the teams are, Packers are going to grow. They were so much better down the stretch of the season that I still think it's the best opportunity for him to compete for a championship, to win to win a conference and move on. And there's, like I said, there's the special aspect of playing your entire career with one organization instead of going somewhere else for a year or two and trying to establish yourself there. So when it's all said and done, if he wants to play, I still think he's going to be in Green Bay. And
so the creature comforts, he stays put, right? He doesn't have to learn new, a new ways route to the facility, and he doesn't have to learn new teammates and transition and anything like that. He also has the legacy of staying put for a legacy franchise. But you think the weaponry that he has is on par, better? I mean, like Adams, he knows in Vegas, right? And then you got a team in the Jets that just swept the Rookie of the Year categories and is getting Breece Hall back, and he also has the creature comfort of the offensive coordinator. You still say Green Bay, despite all that, huh?
I still think there's some other places that have some better pieces, yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best situation to necessarily win and compete for a championship. But, I think their wide receivers have to grow up. But you saw Watson and Dobbs play better down the stretch. They were built more around running the football, and that became their MO, and they played really good football down the stretch. I think there's a lot of places he could go and have just, flat out better wide receivers on the outside. But I'm not sure they have all the other pieces to compete, especially when you have to compare it to, the Jets, right? Jets, great situation. You still got to go through a couple good teams, specifically the Buffalo Bills in your division, who are really talented and probably more talented than the Jets are even. But I could see them competing. But then, the Raiders, it's going to be a tough division just across the board. And they've got shiny weapons on the outside, but, do they have a defense to allow you to compete? The Packers defense, the run game showed that they're right there if, and that's a big if they can gain some confidence on the outside with those guys. And you think about the Jets, they got a bunch of young guys on the outside too. So how long does it take to transition with those young guys to be successful? So I just think there's a lot of pieces when it looks good from afar, but there usually is an adjustment period. And during that adjustment period, you think you can make it happen fast enough where you get a chance to compete in the short term.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.